New Jersey, make sure we protect liberty as we see the continued attacks on rights and freedoms, and really drive opportunities for everyone, for all of our children. So as governor, that's exactly what I'm going to fight to do, and we want to get some great people into the administration, which is why today I'm going to announce the head of our transition team, Dr. Dale Caldwell, the new Lieutenant Governor-elect of the great state of New Jersey, and Kelly Doucette. So Dr. Dale Caldwell, you guys have probably gotten to know over the past several months as we've been campaigning. He has just been a champion for people across this state for decades now, as an educator, as someone who's worked at the state level, a minister. I always have to add, because it's always impressive to me, maybe just me alone, a great tennis player, and somebody who's fought for small businesses across our state. So he is he's going to bring his expertise to this transition, and then Kelly Doucette has a wonderful background and has worked hard for the state for many years now, and so I am incredibly excited that both of them have agreed to do this. Kelly's been at it for some time. We started some time ago, and then I had to duck out the last couple of weeks because I had another thing going on. But here we are, ready to go. So without further ado, maybe I'll have you guys say a few words.
Thank you, Mikie. I want to begin by thanking Governor-elect Mikie Sherrill. Let me say that again. Governor-elect Mikie Sherrill, for the confidence she's placed in me as Lieutenant Governor. We've worked very well as a team, and I'm just excited to move forward. You know, and it's an honor to serve the state in this really important capacity. You know, I'm proud to be part of a team that's focused on building a world-class administration filled with folks who are as committed as we are to making a difference. Governor-elect Sherrill has inspired so many people across the state with her leadership, grounded in integrity, in compassion, and a deep commitment to public service. As chair of this transition, my goal is to ensure that the same values guide every decision we make as we prepare for the administration, her administration, to take office. The work of the transition is both practical and aspirational. Practically, we must make sure that our government is ready to deliver for New Jerseyans on day one. Aspirationally, we have the opportunity to think boldly about the kind of future we want to build, a future defined by opportunity, innovation, and affordability. We will assemble a team that reflects the rich talent of the state, people from every background and every region who are eager to serve. Together with our executive director, Kelly Doucette, who I've really gotten to know and is an extraordinary person, and so many others who are bringing their expertise to this effort, we build the foundation of a government that works better for everyone. This transition is about more than just filling positions. It's about charting a vision for progress at this very challenging time in government. Governor-elect Sherrill has made it clear that she wants to hear from the people of New Jersey, and this process will be open, inclusive, and driven by collaboration. I'm excited for what is ahead, and I'm confident that under Governor-elect Sherrill's leadership, New Jersey's best days are still to come. And now I'd like to invite up to our podium our Transition Executive Director, Kelly Doucette. Kelly.
Thanks, Dale, and thanks, Governor-elect Sherrill. Very exciting to get to say that after working with you for so long. I just want to begin by thanking the Governor-elect for her trust and confidence in me to lead this transition effort as Executive Director. It's an honor to serve alongside such a dedicated and visionary leader, someone who spent her entire career putting people first, solving problems, and delivering results for New Jersey. The days ahead are going to be very busy ones. We have 77 days of transition, and it's going to be exciting, but also very busy and filled with tremendous opportunity. Our job as a transition team is to make sure that Governor-elect Sherrill is ready on day one, to ensure her administration reflects the values, energy, and priorities of the people of the state. That means building a team that is responsive to New Jersey, that works for every corner of the state, and brings forward the best ideas, no matter where they come from. It means creating an open and accessible process, one that invites public service and welcomes new voices to the table. I'm proud to be working with Lieutenant Governor-elect Dale Caldwell Also exciting to get to say that, Lieutenant Governor-elect, as our transition chair, and with so many talented and committed people who are stepping up to help guide this effort. Together, we will lay a foundation for an administration that is ready to tackle the big challenges ahead, from making New Jersey more affordable for working families to building a state government that is ruthlessly efficient and responsive to the needs of the people, and of course, saving you time and money. This is about more than a transition. It's about turning the hopes and ideas of this campaign into action and results for the people of New Jersey. I'm deeply grateful for this opportunity, and I'm looking forward to getting to work. Thank you, and I will turn it back over to the Governor-elect for questions.
One of the key positions here in the next team is going to be the Attorney General. Do you intend to find a new Attorney General as you went on a platform of fighting the Trump policies that could hurt New Jersey?
We are building the team out now, and we'll have announcements coming shortly. But we're going to hit the ground running, so it should be very soon.
Governor-elect, can you just describe what you envision for your first 100 days?
Yes, well, I'm going to declare a state of emergency on day one and freeze utility costs. And then really we'll get right to work on the kids' online safety agenda, where we are going to take on those algorithms as well as stand up a committee of excellence so we can get information, because right now the tech companies have most of the information. Join the tariff lawsuit very quickly that other states are engaged in to push back on the tariff program that Trump is running that's really harming our economy here, and then get to work on the state budget as well, because that's coming up very quickly.
Governor, you have mentioned throughout your campaign that you're opposing Trump in various ways on various issues. Now that you are the governor-elect of New Jersey for 4 years, Governor, he's going to be president for 3 years. Have you reached out to him? Has he reached out to you? Do you plan to have some kind of communication with him? As you know, Governor Murphy has created a relationship where he can work with this guy, even though he opposes a lot of what he's doing.
We haven't spoken yet, but certainly I'm going to be working very hard to get resources, federal resources, back into New Jersey to discuss and take on the Gateway Tunnel funding right away, because that's such a key issue and such a key economic driver here.
Given the results, do you consider yourself to have a mandate?
Yes, I do. A very big one.
Can I follow on that?
Yeah, can we follow up?
You know, I just think that what I'm so glad to see about this election is how working incredibly hard to hear from so many New Jerseyans and identify those key areas that I think are going to be so important to driving costs down, making life easier, making people have more access to opportunity, that we really, I think, have engaged with so many people, have such great thought leaders. I'm excited about the plan we've built out, but we'll keep going back and forth to make sure we're driving the right agenda forward.
Governor, you return to the mandate concept. How do you interpret these results? Last night in Jersey, Virginia, and how do you, blend that with what happened in New York City?
Well, I'm really focused on governing here in New Jersey, and so to see that we had, one Gloucester, one Morris County, I mean, that was pretty seismic. I think Jack won both those counties by 11 points the last time he ran, so to see white working class voters coming out. We saw, Newark perform like it hasn't since 2005, so driving that vote out, I think, with a real mandate from Newark to drive in opportunity, good education systems. Passaic County, I think, swung 18 points. Hudson County swung 22. So what I saw was that our message was resonating, because I think these working class communities, whether it's, suburbs in Gloucester or Black communities or Latino communities, depend so much on good governance. People I hear from want great schools. They see that, as do I, as the opportunity their kids need to succeed. They want good job opportunities to get ahead, want to be able to afford a home, to start to build generational wealth. These are key issues. And so the reason I was so focused on affordability issues is because my community is so focused on affordability issues and how they're going to be successful. And then taking on some of what we see coming from Washington because it's driving up prices everywhere, putting people out of business, stopping the economic growth of our economy. So when I say I have a mandate, that's what I have a mandate to do, is really focus in on working families.
Can I ask about that? Can I ask about that? And then, I'm sorry. He was talking about Latinos. No, I understand. Okay, go ahead, take a third bite at the apple. But on the mandate, other than the electrical rates, freezing them on day one, what specific promise have you made that is, reflects your mandate? I mean,
Expanding the first-time home buyers credit so people can get their foot in the door, taking on landlords who are colluding to drive up rental prices, taking on PBMs. Those are the middlemen in drug pricing to drive down drug costs. Addressing the fact that the state health benefits plan is in a death spiral. That's not only raising costs on medical care, but also driving up property taxes. Schools, looking at how the bloated administration system in the schools, which is driving up property taxes as well. But we're still not getting the results in third grade reading that we want to see. So addressing third grade reading, phonics-based education for our teachers, expanding that program, high-intensity tutoring because we still have learning loss problems. These are all the things that we've worked with communities on throughout the last year and what we're hearing from communities that they want to see front and center in the agenda.
During your transition,
talking about Latinos, you mentioned that they care about education, but they also care about families. And families right now are being divided and deported by the current administration in Washington. What is your plan to either fight or stop this?
So I'm committed to making sure people here feel safe, getting to school safely, getting to church safely, going to report crime safely, and that is what I'm going to do as governor, also taking on those people who are not following the law and the Constitution. We're hearing reports of ICE agents picking up people who are here legally, not even allowing them to show any papers that they are here legally, people who are citizens here. We're also hearing from police officers that there are agents on the street dressed like they are going to Afghanistan. And so making sure that any agents, law enforcement here on the streets is easily identifiable as such. And at the same time, I don't want to discount our Latino community is our most entrepreneurial community. So I'm hearing a lot about red tape and permitting issues for businesses, a lot about concerns of affordability here in our state as well. So these are, this is a community that wants to see both safety, as you've brought up, for their families, for their community, but also good opportunity here with jobs and affordability.
Brad, I think you had a question, Brad. Brad.
What about those people that haven't had a chance to legalize themselves? For example, a couple of weeks ago, a bodega owner, a longtime resident of New Jersey, was, apprehended by ICE. Is there any way to help those people under your government?
There is certainly a way to ensure people have proper representation and that we work hard with our federal delegation to get better processes in place. So TPS recipients, make sure we address TPS. I've been a big supporter of that for Haitians and extending that, for example, ensuring people have a pathway to citizenship. I've been a big fan of comprehensive immigration reform, making sure people have that. A lot of this is something that we've come very close to time and again. And in the most recent case, Trump, I think, undermined it because he thought it was better for his campaign not to effectively address that.
Brad had a question.
So go ahead, I'll go.
And just going off of this theme then, so will you or will you not continue to be contest election?
So I am focused on keeping people safe here, and I've lined that out exactly how that'll operate. But the Immigrant Trust Directive has a lot of those aspects in it, which I've been supportive of.
Governor-elect, as you know, a lot of people seem to want your own job. I guess they think it's easy. So
Well, that nobody's. They won't open Congress up because the Speaker doesn't want to release the Epstein files. So it's.
any idea when you might be formally resigning? It has to do with when the election is, and will you be getting involved in that CD11 race in terms of endorsing anybody?
So we'll be working with leadership in the House as well as our legislature here to, as smoothly as possible, run the special election to get a new person in that seat. I likely won't be getting involved. There are some great candidates in there. So
who are the candidates?
I know Malinowski announced. Has anyone? Yes. There's another woman whose resume looks really impressive from the Obama administration. I think those are the two that have actually announced. I don't know, Sean, if you remember any more.
May I ask a quick question? You talk about wanting to bring down property taxes with school consolidation, district consolidation. How would that work? Would that be a mandated? Would it be like, incentives? How would that work?
Well, at its start, I think we're going to give some resources from the state to help people move towards that, especially at the administration level, and especially with towns that aren't even running a full K through 12 school system, because a lot of these administrations are they're costly. But it's not just the people, it's the buildings that they're housed in, which are old buildings. We know we have some of the oldest school structures in the nation. And so it's really just costly to keep them up. And that's not where citizens in New Jersey want to spend their money. They want to spend it on kids and education, great teachers and educators. And then we do need to update a lot of our school buildings. A couple of years ago, the stairs in Montclair High School fell and shut down classes for half a day for quite some time. We know ceiling in Patterson in a elementary school fell. So we have a lot of work to do there, and spending all the money on the bloated administration system is not going to lower property taxes and not going to get kids a better education. So that's where I'd start.
Transition, what steps are you going to take to set yourself up for the state of emergency that you're planning to pursue?
Well, the very first steps is to hire two great people to lead the transition, or to put two people in place to lead the transition. But we'll, we've already had some conversations. I've already, even during the campaign, had conversations with some of our utility companies, as well as working with some policy experts on exactly what money's coming in through the BPU and how it might be used to do that.
Do you think the school funding formula is fundamentally broken, and do you want to see any specific changes made to it through the legislature?
As a beginning point, it's to stabilize and modernize it. That right now we see wild swings year over year. So you're coming up to this, as school's starting, and suddenly you get your numbers and you start laying off massive amounts of teachers or cutting sports programs. So that's where I would start modernizing. It's kind of a one-size-fits-all for students with disabilities, where we know town by town it's quite different, the numbers. So those are the kind of things I'd start with, and then take a look overall at how well we are educating students, because right now we're not doing a good enough job. Like I said, third grade reading that's a key metric. As Dr. Caldwell would say, from birth to third grade you learn to read, and from third grade on you read to learn. It's a key inflection point, and we're not doing good enough to make sure that our students are ready to go on from third grade with great reading skills.
Okay, last question,
Can you
Katie.
touch on what you discussed with Governor Murphy, and have you met with legislative leaders yet, or is that in the coming days?
So I spoke to Governor Murphy about really staffing up, and his advice was, just get really great people into each position. That's who will, I think, have the biggest impact on the people of New Jersey. And so we talked a little bit about that, his own transition, things he thought he did well, and things he said, I might do differently. And then we also I'm sorry, in the second part of your question.
Have you met with, or
Oh, the legislative, yeah, sorry. I'm operating on very little sleep here. But the legislative leaders, I saw the speaker last night, but we'll continue to have conversations, and we have some meetings set up in the coming days with the majority and minority leaders.
Great, thank you, that's it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. Thanks so much.
Catalini.
So she doesn't have to hold special elections? Is there a temporary when she leaves, or who's gonna so her seat will remain vacant until there is a special election? And she didn't indicate when she was. So basically, if I want to stay in that remain vacant, once she leaves her seat, will remain vacant until there is a special election primary. We don't know when she's leaving.
You get a phone call saying you need somebody to go to
Where's the
camera, whatever. For me, what I do